Hey everyone! Welcome back to Prairie Grown Reviews. We review books, games, movies, and TV shows.
Long time no see, boys.
Exactly. That's why I emphasize the welcome back.
Just on YouTube. Just on YouTube.
It's been a while.
Website's live and thriving, so you should check that out.
And the podcast is a thing that's happening.
It is.
So maybe take a listen to it.
Come back in September for some new episodes. That's when we'll be rocking and rolling again.
Yeah, because of moving pieces. But anyways, today we're here to talk about Marvel's latest series, What If? And we have episode 1, which is What If... I can't remember the exact title, but basically it rolls around their line of what if Peggy Carter got the super... No, what if Peggy Carter was the first Avenger? That is the official title.
God, that was broken English.
There we go.
On.
So what if Peggy Carter was
Jesus
the first
Christ.
Avenger? So we, let's go into non-spoilers. Just...
Non-spoiler thoughts.
I have a better title, and what's going to be the title of this episode on YouTube? What if Sebastian's mouth was filled with marbles? Carry on, Nathaniel.
I'll say, before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'd be really fun if you guys to join us to know whenever we do these What If episodes. These are coming out weekly. Hopefully
some other stuff.
Yeah.
We're working on
it. Hit that bell to stay notified. And please hit the like button because we want to be...
Help that algorithm. Do us a favor.
I was going to mention the like button. Good thing you remembered. There we go.
God, you two combined have like 7 brain cells.
Exactly.
That's fair. But, okay, non-spoiler thoughts. As the first Marvel animated show that takes place within the MCU canon...
Isn't the first one... Isn't Spider-Verse technically a Marvel...
No, that's not MCU related at all.
Not MCU. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, no, there's tons of Marvel animation, but tied into the MCU. This is their very first attempt.
Yep.
And... I'm just going to speak for myself here. They knocked it out of the park. It was a great ride. I really enjoyed what they did with What If. I liked the animation style. It was kind of mixed because they're in Disney Studio. I could tell the influence from Disney animation, especially like the old school 80s, 90s Disney animation.
Absolutely.
The 2D style. I thought the action was really fluid with the way they just could... It reminded me of when we reviewed Demon Slayer, Invincible, that type of just action they can do in animation they can't do in live action. I thought the characters... were all well-defined for such a short period of time, because yes, this is like a Saturday morning cartoon with like about 30 minutes per episode. And I definitely thought I was happy that there were the voice actors back.
I'm going to say something real quick. I don't know why I mentioned characters, because these are characters that you should know already. Like, these are established characters. They're not changing.
Nothing is changing.
Who they are as a core character.
Not yet.
Their roles are changed, right?
Yeah, we don't know. They could change who they are as core characters.
But in this episode, they don't.
Okay, now go on to your non-spoiler thoughts. I kind of went off on a tangent there.
Sebastian, I'm going to speak for myself. Goes on to speak for everything. I thought it was really good. Like 33 minutes, not that long, but it doesn't feel like it should be any longer. Or any shorter. They do a really good job with the pacing and sort of keeping things flowing. And they throw an entire, 2.5 hour movie. Change a couple details, or quite a few details. Package it together and spit it out animated in a half an hour format. And I thought it was really high paced and entertaining.
What they said. I don't know if we consider this a spoiler, but the fact that you're able to they were able to pretty much condense the first Captain America movie pretty much into a 33-minute episode. It's really impressive. And, they never lost us anywhere either, right? It was always such a ride. It had, the easy ups and downs, but not to the point where the downs were, boring, where you're, checking the time, man, how much time has passed?
Yep.
I think the whole time I watched the episode, I saw the time once, at the end.
Yep.
I was like, oh, we're reaching that 30-minute mark already.
Yep.
Wow, never really noticed the time fly,
Yeah, exactly.
So, really good pacing. Good characters.
As Seb's like to say.
And, of course, animation looks really nice.
Yep.
It's nice seeing, I guess, another superhero movie being animated.
Yep.
So,
it's good for everybody. I have to jump straight into our segment, into our spoilers section.
Go into spoilers. Go check the episode out, come back. Blah, blah, blah. You know the rest here.
If you had never seen any Marvel before at all...
You can't do that. I don't think you can do that.
Do you think you could pick up and watch this?
No. No.
Okay, I think you pick up and watch it.
But
I don't know if you understand it.
Right? Yes.
You can always pick up
watch anything.
But does it make enough sense? Because it's...
I think as a standalone story, it makes enough sense. The references
to
won't make any sense to you. But you can watch
episode,
it as a show.
Start to finish.
Right? You can watch it's its own self-contained show. The episode is self-contained. It doesn't matter,
No, yeah, it is self-contained.
Episode 2 is about Star-Lord and T'Challa,
T'Challa
that might be less self-contained.
That one might be less self-contained. But knowing that as their second episode, the first episode has nothing to do with the second
That's
episode.
true.
Right?
It
the
is
focus is
self-contained.
not there. They might reference it, but the focus isn't there anyways. So technically speaking, you come in, watch it. Will you understand the characters, know the relationships, everything? No, absolutely not. It doesn't make any sense, right? You
Yeah.
won't understand the what if you don't know what the original
Yep.
thing was.
Exactly.
But besides that, if you just picked it up one day and like, hey, this is on Disney Plus, it looks pretty cool, and watched it, you should be fine.
You
I
might
think
have a
it'll
good
make it
time.
happen.
I do think, as a 33-minute episode taken from a 2-hour movie, there are some jumps, but I think it works
Today's
well
no
enough.
shit moment brought to you by
Yeah,
Sebastian.
okay, I know it's a no shit, but I'm just saying there's some jumps and some gaps, so you might be scratching your head a bit. But like Nat said,
So
you
think
can
of it this
pick it
way:
up.
the cuts that they made weren't relevant to the story that they were trying to tell.
That's true. That's true.
right. This story was about Peggy Carter, not Steve Rogers.
No.
The content was all about Steve, and Steve does
And
not
the
matter.
Hydra stuff.
Like, right?
Yeah.
This is from
Yep.
Peggy's perspective, and she don't care.
And the liberties they take with kind of knowing that everybody watching this is going to have a deeper understanding as to what actually went down sort of helps the bubble it's in as well. right?
Yep, that's true.
Like they glaze over the very most basic things, and that sort of keeps the pace up. But it also would, if you knew nothing, sort of keep you from like it wouldn't overcomplicate things. You wouldn't
No.
have to think about it too much. You could just watch this and go on your day and be like, "Oh, that was cool."
Yeah.
Good episode, fun. We'll come back next week.
Exactly.
Yeah, see what happens. I might be even more confused, but I might be less confused. Who knows? But
What if?
Well, think
What
of it
if-
this way: at this point, everyone knows like basic Marvel stuff. No
Yeah.
matter what, no matter who you are, you'll still know the names, right?
yes, Captain America, Black Panther, Star Lord,
Like you know
Iron
the
Man.
names, you know the characters. You might not know them really well, but
Yeah.
you will still know them. Right?
Though
Yeah.
Peggy Carter, Killmonger, some of them might be less known.
I feel like Peggy's pretty popular.
She's
I feel
getting.
like
She had her
all-
own show.
and
I
all
think
the
she
side
doesn't.
characters.
Yeah, she's
was
pretty.
probably one of the ones
yeah,
that people know
that's-
the most, right?
that's
I would
true.
agree with that. Yep.
So
Of all the ones who hasn't been the focus of a show yet, yeah. Well, she did have her own show,
Yeah.
but it's been a while since that's been on air. So, oh yeah, I was going to say that I did watch a non-spoiler review before this came out by a reviewer who got this early, and I do agree with the statement they made that this does reward the fans who do rewatch everything, like the references, the Easter eggs. Of course,
Yep.
that's with every Marvel project, but like if you've watched the MCU more than once,
Yep.
you're going to really like. I think
or
this
if you watch the
you'll really-
MCU in a 2-week
2-week period.
Hey man, those were the dark ages. We don't talk about that.
Dark Ages. I think that was one of our cleverest ideas yet. No, that was awful, but it was
Considering how
kind
bad
of fun.
Seb is with scheduling, I'm surprised we got through it.
We did though. We did though.
It's only because it's movie related and Seb doesn't put much effort into these things, and he already watches them anyways.
Yeah,
He's
that's the
not
thing.
really taking it out of
There's
his life.
very few MCU movies I don't watch once a year. So
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
23 of them, and I watch them usually once a year each, anyways. So,
Anyways,
but back to the topic at hand. Let's just get into the episode itself. So, what did you guys think of the? It was a small thing, and I think that was interesting. The what if that changed it, which was just that she didn't go up to the balcony. Like, do you think they're all going to be like those little
to
small?
be.
That's the
things?
point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's
right?
the point.
You
It'll-
can't have a
Absolutely.
giant like Nexus
Change.
event, right? Like
Well, it is still a Nexus
I know
event,
it's
but
Nexus,
it's a
but it
small.
can't be like some giant thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. There won't be the what if anymore.
That's
too
true.
much of a what if.
Yeah,
Right?
it's too far because then it turns anything bigger, and then it starts to like
Or
not.
the fan fiction.
You don't
at
have
that
you
point,
don't have
right?
the root, right? Like
Yeah, that's true.
if
The
something
roots
bigger
gone.
happens, it's probably because of 3 or 4 decisions.
Yeah.
So you still
Yeah.
trace it back to one small thing.
That's
Any
true.
way you look at it, right? You could take this episode at the midpoint and be like, oh, what if we got to here? Be like, well, no. All
Yeah.
this shit happened first. This is how we got here, right? I don't
Yep.
think you could really dodge that. That's probably what we see for 9 straight episodes.
That's most likely correct. Then we had Mr. Sexist Colonel Dude.
Yeah.
I did like that his first reaction was to put the scientist in there.
Yep.
He's like, Howard, go in there before the spy, the agent. No, put the dude who pushes buttons in there, who doesn't like shoot guns.
Now think of it this way. I mean, if he did put Howard in there, who's gonna activate the thing?
Yep.
Right? Like
No one knows-
Erskine's dead at that point.
Yeah, Erskine's dead.
Like
Yep. Toast.
Howard's in the machine. Steve is on the floor.
Toast.
What?
as well.
What is the Colonel gonna pull the levers? He doesn't even know what he's doing either.
Nope.
What did he expect?
No.
Nope.
I don't know. Kind of a dumb moment.
It was
there,
a dumb
but
moment, but this colonel was just really sexist. So
I
he
think I
was
like
like,
that. Like, I think we talked about this during the episode. But
Yep.
like the
It was-
way that it reflected the times.
he did.
He did that really well, and like the whole like sexist stuff being kept in helped like characterize everyone a lot better.
Oh, absolutely.
It helped like
Absolutely.
root the story and like really grounded.
In the wartime, because at that time the most a woman could help out was be a nurse.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it did a really good job there. I honestly think there was worse alternatives than Howard Stark, to be totally honest.
Oh, there's definitely worse alternatives than Howard Stark. He's smart, and if he gets the brawn behind the brains, he's unstoppable.
And you can't tell me he's any less capable than Steve is. Outside of just like
pure hearts.
That's it.
That's like, the thing. You don't know his
capabilities. There's no
physical capabilities. There's no difference. It's just, do you
equal,
know, is he corruptible?
I'd almost give it to Howard, just because Steve was so darn skinny.
Yeah, but is he corruptible? Is the question?
Probably.
100%.
That's the problem.
I don't even think you have to ask that about a Stark.
Steve Rogers is incorruptible. The man could not do like
America's ass might have got him.
America's ass might have got him. But like, there's nothing that would have stopped Steve from doing the right thing.
Nope.
So Howard, he's got too much ambition.
Yep.
Like, it's not that Steve's not ambitious, but he thinks too big. Steve's just a humble kid from Brooklyn. He says that all the time. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
Yep.
Which, speaking of Steve's skinny here. He doesn't, grow out of that.
As one would expect.
Another no crap.
No crap mode. But I like the Hydra Stomper. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was.
That was definitely a twist that these two didn't know about. I knew because of the trailer. I'd like to see that in live action. I know there's been speculation about seeing Captain Carter's nearly confirmed for Doctor Strange or some future multiverse project. And I don't know, maybe we do see a flash of a live-action Hydra Stomper, and maybe they get Chris Evans to come back.
I could see it.
Just to be Skinny Steve. I think he'll come back for little things like that. He won't come back to be the star of a film anymore. I could see him coming back for a day shoot and get paid $80 million to be there for a day, because Robert Downey Jr. made $10 million for less than 15 minutes of screen time for Spider-Man Homecoming. So I don't know what...
but you gotta understand, it didn't take 15 minutes to film.
No, it took hours, and he was there for a few days.
Probably a couple days.
Because he had multiple scenes, so it wasn't a day shoot. But you could do a day shoot. Speaking of Chris Evans, though, he does not come back to reprise his role.
I think that tells you everything you need to know about his...
But this was 4 years ago. When they started this, it was 4 years ago. That's the thing, you don't...
I almost feel like it cheapens it, though. If he comes back in it, I'd rather wait to bring him back.
That's true.
As opposed to do it soon.
Tony Stark is the same thing.
Yep, totally.
Scarlett Johansson is not coming back as Black Widow either. The other confirmed ones are Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, which though that makes less sense because she's still under contract with Marvel. But I mean, maybe she was busy at the time. You don't know. Same thing with Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange.
Yep.
But they're going to try and do voice alikes. And, I mean, the dude who played Steve here, he had his moments where he definitely sounded like Steve. There were times when you could tell it wasn't Steve.
I think I was really impressed.
I think he did a really good job.
He definitely did really good. It was much better than I expected. I thought it'd be more noticeable. But once you get into it, you just kind of
There's no glaring inconsistencies or anything like that.
Besides like a few really good moments, he's really good. Just
if you really don't pay attention to it too much, you won't notice it.
Yeah,
it'll just flow like normal, like you expect.
And to help with the flow of the episode.
Oh, totally right.
Like nothing
jarring about it.
Out of character, right? Everyone still felt the same.
And this is part of the pacing as well. They don't let you linger on it because I think if you lasted on that Steve too much and you heard it enough, you might hear more breaks in the illusion. But because the pacing's so quick, you just hear Steve.
Yeah, Steve himself didn't really have that many lines to start off with anyways. He wasn't really the focus. So.
No, not at all.
It was Peggy. He was a supporting character, and going on to other reprising roles, even Bucky was even more of a supporting character. He had like 3 lines.
Fun. Like he didn't do anything.
Nothing.
He stole a car.
That's it.
He stole a car.
That's pretty much it. And that iconic scene coming out.
Something sort of like how it should have ended. I don't know.
Whatever.
I had a huge just like.
Oh, how it should have ended are good. Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of those moments. But anyway.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely. And then we get some just awesome action out of Captain Carter.
Yeah. No.
Awesome.
There's very few instances where even in live action that Steve moved with the shield like that. He had his Winter Soldier. There were quite a few moments where I'd say he was fantastic, but there was just something. Her first scene with the Nazis, it was so the motion didn't stop.
I mean, think of it this way: she technically has training in hand-to-hand combat, and I think that translated really well.
Yeah, Steve was a brawler.
Steve just kind of is like got thrown into the role and he just kind of did whatever.
Yep.
Right. You see him in the first movie, he's using a gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's
He
just
doesn't
thrown in
use a
there.
gun now, but yeah, he was a boxer. Like
Doesn't use
Brawler
anything now.
was his. Well, yeah, he's old, maybe dead. Falcon the Winter Soldier didn't exactly leave that closed, so we don't know what's up with Steve.
Nope, no idea.
But no, but he went from like because boxing was a little bit of his background.
Yep. Yeah, but
But
that doesn't help much
no.
when you're given a shield.
exactly. So, but I mean, Steve Rogers' best fight scenes in my mind
John
are
Walker.
in the Avengers movies. Like in first Avengers, he has some great stuff, and Winter Soldier, the elevator scene, his first assault at the beginning of the movie, the stealth assault on the ship, I think is great action for Steve in the movies. But Peggy really gets to shine, and she does have a slightly different style than Steve.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
That's part of it was that she felt,
Different.
although she looked like Captain America,
She wasn't.
felt unique enough.
Yep.
Like they were under the same like pressure technically, but she was unique. Like she's different.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
She wasn't like just some carbon copy. Like what if like Steve was Peggy
A girl.
and just like
Yeah.
pretty much did like that, right?
Yep.
They did it. They did her justice.
They
really.
stayed
It wasn't
true.
a female Captain America.
They
it was
stayed
a
true
female.
to her personality
Exactly.
as we've grown to know it over the course of a couple movies and a TV show, right? So I thought that was probably the best part of the whole episode, was just that they didn't cookie cutter Cap into
Yeah,
a
it wasn't a
lead,
female Steve Rogers.
right?
Yeah.
It was
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. Exactly. And I mean, it's not just the fact that she's a woman British.
Yep.
She's different characters. You know what she's like,
Yep.
and you get Peggy Carter with the
Yep.
shield, and it's awesome. And I mean, her final against the octopus monster thingy is pretty
Kraken.
intense.
Yep. Yeah, that's another good action scene there.
Yeah, and she finds a sword, and then she's like chopping it to bits, and it's pretty
That sword
cool.
comes out of literally
I know,
nowhere.
It was like in a store. It was just like
It's in a
sitting in a
sheath.
pile.
It was in a sheath.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was
She
like
gets
a
pulled out of,
budget
like, a
Wonder Woman or
holder.
something. It looked so funny.
It's
She
like
did look like Wonder.
15 feet in the air. She's like, oh, random sword holder. Nice.
Yeah.
and the whole like her getting dragged in and like stabbing the sword through. That sword should have went.
Yep.
There's no. Was it made of vibranium?
We don't know.
The ground should have went.
like
Everything should have went.
Something should have gave. But instead, it didn't. And we got a movie moment.
Yes. And then
he comes in and gets knocked out of the way like
but he
He
doesn't
fly.
die. So he grows old, I
Yep.
guess, with Bucky, which is nice for them because they've never really got to just.
Well, I mean,
Be friends forever.
Bucky survived.
Bucky was
technically.
brought out of that building,
Technically,
so
yeah.
he's alive at that moment. We don't know what happens in the next
I know,
70
because
years.
technically there's still the war was still technically
Yeah,
going on
that was
still, right?
1944
We
ish.
don't know.
So
We don't know
Because
anything yet.
Hydra's defeated, not Hitler.
Yep.
Hitler could have
yeah.
killed them for all we know.
Yep,
you know? So,
exactly.
anyways, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but
No, you're correct. You're
Never
correct.
know.
You don't know, but I'd most likely say
think
that
it's a
they're going to
safe
let
assumption to
Steve
make.
and Bucky be kind of happy in this version and let Peggy feel the pain of losing everyone she knows because they grew old and she's not old. But moving on to that last scene, we have Samuel L. Jackson and Jeremy Renner returning as Nick Fury and Hawkeye, which
Yep.
is great. And it looks like, judging by the portal, that building, like that's the same place where Loki comes out in the first Avengers film in 2012. So what if that was right before Loki comes out? Like, what if they're testing the Tesseract at that point? So maybe she's going to be in an alternate Avengers. And this begs my biggest question, because we can't really theorize with the whole differentness of every episode. We don't know how much but how much do you think they're going to connect? Because there's
Quite
been
a bit.
like-
I think we get a true finale.
I think so.
I think so,
It has
too.
to be, right?
I hope so.
It feels right. The way Marvel does things and connecting everything, it just feels right to have
There's no
things
way we're going to have
slightly
9
connected.
one-off episodes.
Right.
I'd agree.
Right? At some point, it may...
Especially with her popping out.
I
at
could
this
see the
time.
first 4 being one-offs, and then like the last 5-ish sort of starting to weave
Them all
things
together,
more back
yeah.
together. I think there'll be
Kind of
little,
like WandaVision?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
there'll be little hints built into the next couple, right?
Mm.
Just to sort of like still kind of connect them, and then I think they'll finally start to come together later in the season. I would assume.
I'd assume.
I gotta hope.
Me too. Because also, I've heard people speculating that they're going to be like, this animated universe is going to have like, their multiversal Avengers, their team that's protecting the multiverse, because they, maybe they're from different alternate universes, or maybe they're all from the same alternate universe. But
Yep.
who knows? But either way, they're going to meet up at some point. It looks like that from the trailers anyways.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know. The confusing thing is there seems to be what if episodes that are like so far into the MCU timeline. It's like what if, by the looks of it, it looks like there's an episode of what if the Avengers were together when Thanos first came in
Yep.
Infinity War, which would mean like so Civil War never happened. So that's an interesting what if, but does it like how does that connect?
But they could always do one-off episodes too, like that.
That's
too,
true.
Right?
You don't know.
Speaking, they can do whatever they want.
And it's already been confirmed for a season 2, so you don't need to resolve this whole thing at once.
Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police.
Anyway, I think on that note, we should end the episode.
We should end the episode. I think
there's one.
Unless
Oh,
there's
there's
one
something else I was
Austin's
gonna
got
mention.
something to think.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, the Watcher. The Watcher's actually a character in the show. He's not just your
I would like to
narrator.
say, man,
That's
he must
cool.
like have the crappiest job in the world. Like honestly, why do you even exist? Like, what's the
Because
point?
the universe
Somebody has
put him
to
in
watch.
existence, and
But
he's got a watch.
why? What is it?
He
He's
must have pissed
basically a
somebody off.
supervisor, Nathaniel, but
I
a
know,
supervisor.
but he can't even do anything. He just sits there.
Somebody, yeah.
Like,
He must have pissed somebody off.
Exactly. Like, what did he do to deserve such a
Something.
fate? That's worse than death.
In the
Yep.
main MCU timeline, and this was semi-confirmed,
Yep.
but Stan Lee is an informant of the Watchers, because the Watchers are a race of beings. Usually there's more than one Watcher.
Oh.
And Stan Lee,
Man, that's-
because there's a scene in Guardians 2, his cameo in Guardians 2 is him talking to a group of people who have the same comic book design as the Watchers,
Yep.
and he's informing them of previous cameos he had.
Yep.
So it's kind of been semi-confirmed that technically all his cameos are the same character as a Watcher figure, like an informant for the Watchers,
That's dope.
which is
Yeah.
kind of dope. And posthumously, R.I.P. Stan Lee, man. Like,
Yes, sir.
dude, maybe they could cameo him in a What If Stan Lee was the center of a Marvel movie?
Yeah, unfortunately they closed that book.
Yeah, because they
ago.
won't do any more Stan Lee cameos. They feel that's out of
I don't-
respect to him.
I don't think they should.
I don't think they should either, personally. I think just leave it at
Like it'd be
Endgame
cool.
being his
It'd be,
last
it'd
one.
be cool cinematically, but I think just out of respect for all the great things that man has done for everybody, it's just better to leave it that way.
I agree.
I got nothing else. I
We
had
should end
something.
it here. I think it's.
It's on the
perfect.
it's on the tip of my tongue. But
He'll
it's
say
not.
it a second after
Yeah,
filming.
absolutely, I will. Yeah,
You know
no.
what? A post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene. Which they didn't have. Did we even check? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did.
We
We rolled
did.
it.
We did.
We rolled it.
We
There's
rolled
nothing.
through, which we should, because this is still Marvel, and
Yep.
because it's been mostly confirmed that part of this is at least canon, so we've got to pay attention here.
Yep.
I'd recommend if you're put off because it's animated, don't be. Check
Don't
it
be.
out. Like
Yep.
it's really good. It was so much fun.
Honestly, you
I
start
was not
watching,
looking
you don't
forward
even
to-
noticed it. Like you just kind of get in. Like
Yeah,
you just get sucked into it.
it's just the story.
Yeah, exactly. They do a really good job of that.
You don't like the animation's beautiful. I'm not trying to take anything away from the animators, but you just get so sucked
Yep.
into the story and the characters and the environment that it blends flawlessly. And I mean, I wasn't looking forward to this. This was the one I was looking least forward to because I was like, it's just a spin-off thing. It's not connecting. It's like this weird thing.
You were so wrong.
I was
Very
so
wrong.
wrong. I freely admit this on the internet. I was wrong. It's a great show.
Yep.
I hope it
You
continues
guys
this
should
level.
cherish this. Seth doesn't usually admit he's wrong.
Very, very,
It's very
few times
seldom.
ever.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I hope it continues this level of excellency throughout the rest of the
Just
episodes.
if we get animated characters walking around as animations in a live-action movie,
You mean like Space Jam?
I'm gonna punt somebody from Marvel.
They're not going to do that. They have the actors.
They had better not. But I'll punt somebody. Remember, I'll do it.
Anyways,
With
on
that-
that note,
Take us away.
Well, everyone, I'd just like to say that from everyone here at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see here, check out the website
I
and
thought we
check
were
out
fading
the
out
podcast. We are going to fade out. I messed up the order of things. It's been a while since I've done one of these.
It's been a good while.
It's been a good while. So, you know what? Just check out our other stuff. This isn't the podcast. Check out the website. Look at the other YouTube videos. We've done lots of the ones on the Marvel shows like Falcon the Winter Soldier, Loki, and WandaVision. So once again, from everyone here at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, see you guys next time.